Late at night, the doctors and the TV crew give them a fright. The movies are cheesy and so's the host. Look out, honey, here's 13 ghosts. And Dr. Destruction's Crimson Theater, Bill's the monster, eater. And Dr. Destruction's Crimson Theater, Dr. Destruction's Crimson Theater, ghoulies, come on!
There you are, ghoulies. Glad you came back. And, well, it's amazing, but Orson Welles' grandmother is still alive. What's your name?
My name is Mary Blanche Head Wells Godfredson.
Wow. And you, did you move to Kenosha or were you born here?
I was born in Kenosha. There's some question of when my birth was. Long story, but my family, well, let's just say the Head family,
very
a very strong, unusual case. But I was born here in Kenosha in 1843.
Very good. And I imagine it must have been fantastic to be Orson's grandmother.
It was wonderful. And let me tell you, as you know, we came first.
You came first.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm his grandmother.
Okay, so that's probably part of the reason he turned out the way he did.
Exactly. He's a chip off the old Orson Head block. My father was Orson Sherman Head. He was a very, very powerful and statuesque man, both in physique and in notoriety in Kenosha. He was a district attorney. He was a state senator. And he ruled with an iron fist. And he was a redhead, and I inherited that. And we were all very feisty, and it's really not that much of a coincidence that George Orson Welles was named after my father, Orson Sherman Head, because those two were so much alike. And people tell me, and I find this hard to believe, that I'm just like the two of them. I suspect I did not care for that little brat Georgie. He was so artistic. He had a good head for business, and he never used it. I told him he had good head for math, good head for business, and he never used it like his father did. He was very stubborn, just like his great-grandfather, and just like his grandmother. Comes by it honestly.
Oh, well, I can see that.
He does.
And it's amazing that you're still alive, well, and living in Kenosha.
Absolutely.
What do you think of Kenosha? Because Orson didn't really care for it.
Oh, Orson. Oh, don't listen to what he says. Oh, for Pete's sake. I loved Kenosha. My family was, well, part of the patrician class, if you will. And at that time, there was a patrician class, and my family was part of it. And Orson, he was artsy and weak.
Weak, huh?
Weak and
artsy.
artsy.
He seemed like a very strong man.
Oh.
It was an act, I guess.
Oh, please.
You mean he could have been acting and fooling us all?
He could have been, but he wasn't that good, let me tell you. He tried to fool me all the time when he was growing up. I saw through him every time. He wasn't that good. He did have an incredible imagination and an incredible gift for storytelling, which he got from his father, my son, and his grandfather, my husband.
They all stayed in Kenosha, huh?
Not all of them.
Not all of them. Some of them moved on.
Yes.
Now, obviously, you came here to talk about your teaming up with Kenosha for the Citizen Wells, a community celebration.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I've got my brochure. It looks like it's going to be a good time.
We are Kenosha, and Orson was born here. George Orson Welles was born here in Kenosha, May 6, 1915. Was born right here.
Was 6th Avenue? Was he born there or moved there?
No, he was born in Kenosha on May 6th. He was about 5 years old, between age 5 and 6, when they moved to Chicago. And, excuse me, his mother, Beatrice Ives Wells, was very ill, and she died when he was about 10. And then my son, Richard Hogden Wells, later changed his name to Richard Head Wells, but I don't want to get, my family history, let me tell you. Died when Orson was about 15. But he used to make frequent trips back to Kenosha to visit the family members that were here.
Ah, very good. Is this prior all to Citizen Kane? His
Oh,
big
absolutely.
breakthrough? Did you like that song?
Absolutely, I did not.
Why not?
Everybody said it was so hard, soon it was so good. Bah. Didn't care for it. Didn't care. I didn't like, there are lots of things about it I didn't like. I understand critical acclaim and all that. I understand it. I thought it was poppycock. It was tried. It was poppycock.
Well, you know, he did a lot of stuff, but
He did do a lot of stuff.
Touch of Evil was interesting.
Touch of Evil was a good one.
Yeah, but
It's
casting
interesting-
Charlton
interest-
Heston as a Mexican?
Now, interesting how Orson was so easily was so easy. It was so easy for him to play sleazy. Very interesting casting, in my opinion. I'm not sure he was all that great of an actor. I think he was. That's really who he is.
Who?
Orson.
Is Orson, yes. You think he's sort of this sleazy P.T. Barnum kind of actor?
I know he is.
What might have been referred to as a shyster back in the day.
I agree. He was a charlatan.
Ah, very
He
good.
was into magic and all kinds of strange things.
He's my hero.
Is he really? I'm so sorry.
Yes, yes.
You don't get out much.
I don't get out
Oh,
much,
I'm
but
so sorry.
I wrote a memoir of his, ma'am, where he accuses you, yes, you, of witchcraft.
Oh, poppycock. That is not true. It's foley roll and fiddly dee.
They said there was a pentagram in your...
No, they say all kinds of things now, don't they?
Yes, they do.
Oh, yes. Well, we'll never know now, will we? The house it's been painted over. We'll never know.
Well,
I was a Christian Scientist. I studied and lived by the teachings of Mary Baker Eddy. This is true.
It is amazing how people go around spreading rumors about people that are
It is.
absolutely true.
Well, if it's a rumor, then it's not true, young man. Honestly.
Where are the facts? Are there any facts?
The facts, ma'am. Just the facts.
I think it's quite interesting to have not only have Orson Welles' grandmother still alive with me
Absolutely.
here today,
Absolutely.
but the woman is accused of being a witch by her own grandson.
Pish posh. Pish posh. Do you believe everything Orson Welles said? Please.
Not since the internet.
Oh, please. Oh, please. And War of the Worlds, did you really believe that was happening?
Which
oh,
one?
come on.
The radio broadcast, I was a little too young for.
Yes, well, there was a disclaimer at the beginning. Many people missed that part. Honest to Pete.
Well, who knows? The Martians, we might be the Martians.
Who knows, indeed. Who knows?
You think that Orson might have been privy to perhaps secret societies,
Oh, please.
underground now?
Please. Oh, my good man, you are a laugh, aren't you?
I try. Well, these are the
Secret
pressing
societies.
questions pressing questions.
I see
will
you.
want to know.
You mentioned the internet. Perhaps that's where you should get your information. Secret societies.
You can read it.
Oh, yeah. I highly doubt it, young man.
Well,
I highly
the
doubt
old days, our conspiracy theories would revolve around secret societies.
Oh, absolutely. We needed entertainment.
Now it's empty Walmarts and helicopters.
I know. They're all out to get us.
They're all out to get us.
Oh, and the drones and let's not start down that road, shall we?
No. But it's interesting now that you've lived this long to see this technology. I mean,
Indeed. War of the Worlds. Ha! They would have been on Bing or whatever these things are these days. I don't keep up with these newfangled things. I've heard of them and I've read about them, of course.
I think it's good to stay in touch with antiquity.
Antiquity, my dear man.
Antiquity.
Now you've got me flustered.
Yeah, well, it's so hard for a Hungarian to pronounce this dialect.
I know.
Maddening.
Honestly, my father and uncles wouldn't let you near us.
I'm sure.
We were blue-blooded English. Straight back to the Mayflower we can trace our bloodline.
I think the British like the Hungarians very much.
No, I don't know. I don't know
And
this.
vice versa, from what I remember.
I don't know.
Early childhood.
I don't really care.
I don't care. This is America. We're Americans.
Absolutely, we're all Americans.
All right. Any final words you have to inspire citizens of Kenosha to, well,
George Orson Welles is the native son, and he deserves to be honored because he was a member of my family, and my family deserves to be honored. But there are so many wonderful things going on this May.
I see
Starting out, we're kicking off May 6th at Carthage College at 7 p.m. I'm told there will be cake. I will be there.
Well, I'm kind of interested in this Wells and FDR on the Champagne Trail.
I believe it says Campaign Trail, young man.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Honest to Pete. Old as I am, and I can read that better than you.
Well,
Interesting. I'm interested in seeing that too. It is, I believe, and don't quote me on this, but I believe it is a play written by Nita Hunter, who runs RG Productions, Radio Girls.
Okay.
And I believe she wrote this, and it's going to star Jan Milhowski as Orson and Gary Stamm as FDR.
Wow.
So I
have to check it out.
I am definitely interested in that.
And then it looks like the Puppet Underground is
Yes,
involved,
well, as you know, Orson was into all kinds of unusual things, magic and puppets and card games, and unusual person. So yes, there will be puppets. There will be puppets. Let there be puppets.
Let there be puppets.
There will be puppets. Puppets
Orson
will be
liked
there.
puppets, huh?
Orson liked puppets. He was an odd child. He was a very odd child and didn't follow my advice. Had he followed my advice, the world would have been a different place today, I can guarantee you.
And just how do you envision that world, madam?
Well, I don't think we would have all this Orson Welles phenomena. It would be George Orson Welles, and he would be a noted mathematician or business person. Art, please. Oh, come on. Come on, Othello. What is it? What is this? Leave the art to the artists.
Have you ever heard of Miss Vampiro?
Oh, of course I have.
Did you know that she's got a connection with Orson Welles?
I wouldn't be surprised. A lot of young women had connections to Orson Welles.
She talked
I
about
understand.
Orson Welles and said that he once looked at her, scantily clad,
I'm sure
on
he
the
did.
boudoir,
I'm sure
and
he
said,
did.
"Marvelous carcass."
I believe he did. He was rude, crude, and socially unacceptable.
Socially unacceptable.
At times, yes.
Ha.
At times, yes.
Leave
and I
it
know
to
this.
Kenosha to celebrate a socially unacceptable man.
Oh, now he's heralded as this great mind. Huh.
There's not a little bit of rivalry.
No, I'm disappointed.
She's so disappointed. She lived until today to tell the story.
Disappointed the family. He let the family down. He had such potential. These are art. Magic. Card games. Puppets. Need I say more?
Wow. Well, I didn't expect to hear the devil's advocate against Orson tonight, but it's been interesting.
It's the truth. I speak the truth, young
Please
man.
go to the, do you know the Facebook page or the website?
I do not, but it's Citizen Wells, Welles.
Society of Kenosha.
Orson's father added the E, by the way. His father, my husband, Richard Jones Wells, did not have an E in his name. So, Citizen Wells with an E.
Citizen Wells with an E. Very good. It's been great to have you on.
Thank you so much, young man.
Maybe we can do something out on the trail.
Oh, that
and
would be
catch up to you
wonderful. Simply wonderful. I have stories to tell that everyone needs to know about.
All right, now be sure to check it out. It's the Citizen Wells celebration, Citizen
Correct.
Wells Society.
Correct. And be sure to go to the Memorial Walk.
The Memorial Walk.
Absolutely.
All right, Ghoulies. We'll have more updates on this exciting event soon.
My fingers are burning. Thanks for coming. Love you, dearest.